Okay, welcome our and Hariharan Express channel. Thank you very much to watch our different videos. Today we will discuss the topic register transfer language with notation. Okay, so how different register that is use there when different registers are used uh, the data or how transfer different data through registers, then what kind of notations we are using, okay, through register transfer language. So our for that reason the topic today we will consider, that is register transfer language with notation. Okay, actually the register transfer language is the symbolic representation of notations which is used to specify the sequence of micro operations. That means different micro operations whenever we will consider through register transfer language, then what kind of notations, that is standard notations we are using. Okay, that kind of a concept, that kind of a topics we will discuss today. Okay, so that means data transfer can be represented by standard notation. Okay, so different kind of notation we will use for different micro operations. So very simple that is notations we use today whenever the different kind of registers are used with different notations. Now we will start. So if we go through, that is a processor registers, then what happens, we will use only register notations. The notations can be defined in this manner. How? That is for example, that is R0, okay, R1, R2, or any kind of registers. Okay, whenever go through any kind of registers, then we can go through this register R0, R2, R3, or any kind of register. We can go through this register. We can tell as that is a processor register. We can tell as these are processor register. Okay, if a simple way we go through, that is a simple processor register. If we go through, that is simple that is notation like a that is R0, R1, R2, or any number of notations. Okay, this is the one kind of a notation. Another notation also we can use. What is this? Sometimes we go through different address, okay, different address of data through memory location. And if we go through address of memory locations, these are represented by the different kind of that is notation like that is log, that is we can say also another way memory, we can write a memory location. Okay, memory location for that is different ways for data, such as we can write it like a LOC, memory location with address represented by like a LOC, okay, or place, okay, or memory MEM. These kind of things also we can define with a standard notation for memory location. Whenever we go through register, processor register, then we can go through R0, R1, R2, up to Rn, n number of register we can use. Suppose we go through different kind of memory location, then we can use this LOC, place, or memory, etc. Okay, and a third kind of notation also we can use like a input output register. We can also use input output register. Okay, whenever go through input output register, and it is represented by certain that is notation, like that is data in. Okay, data in and data out. Two ways, data in or data out. Two ways we can define. Okay, or other way also there, but this is very that is a standard notation whenever we use that is through register. So here that is three ways we can use different notation. One is that is a processor register. Whenever any kind of processor register we use, then we can go through R0, R1, R2. If a memory location with address suppose we use, that is we can go through that is a loc or LOC or place or memory, etc. If we go through the input output register, then we can go through data in, data out. These are the basic notation. Okay, these are the basic notation through data transfer language. Very standard notation. These are the very standard notation whenever use that is the registered transfer language. Okay. So other notation although there, but since it is a very standard notation, we can use in this way. And another way, whenever go through different register transfer operation. Okay, different that is register transfer operation whenever use, then we see that how different operation can be used by different registers. Okay, normally we know that register transfer operation means data transfer from one register to another register, normally concept, or the operation performed on the data stored in the registers which are referred to as register transfer operations. So various kind of various kind of register transfer operations can be considered. So different kind of operations can be considered. So if we go through only operation point of view, then normally three category of operations we can consider. Okay, so what are those? What kind of operations we can use? We see that how different kind of operations are used through registers. Then we can see that that is how it is used, what are the process, or how it can use through register. Okay, so now you see whenever go through that is a register transfer operation, we can write another concept through register, that is a register transfer operation. Okay, if we go through register transfer operation, normally three category of register transfer operation we will consider. Okay, so now see what are those operations. Very simple way I will define. First one we will see that is a simple transfer. Okay, first one we see simple transfer. Simple transfer means what? Simple transfer means what? That means a very simple way. If the content of a register, one register, if a content of one register transfer to another register without any condition, then we can tell as a simple transfer. Like a very simple way I will show you, like a here R1 R2. Okay, that means here you see the content of R1, the content of R1 transfer to R2, or copy of a content of R1 transfer to R2. Okay, if in this way the content transfer we can tell as a simple transfer. That means the content of R1 are copied into R2 without affecting the content of R1. It is an unconditional type of a transfer operation. We can tell as it is an unconditional transfer of operation. Okay, this is the one kind of operation. Okay, another way, other also operation also there. Okay, what are other operation? We can, this is the simple. Okay, another operation we can tell like a condition. Okay, we can write a conditional, or that is conditional transfer. We can write a conditional transfer. Okay, we can tell as a conditional transfer. Means whenever data transfer, then some condition we have to maintain. Okay, what is the condition? What kind of condition is maintained, or how data transfer with condition? That means suppose one condition, any kind of condition, suppose one statement will consider. If a statement is true, then data transfer from one register to another register. Okay, so that kind of concept we can write. For example, like suppose if P is equal to 1, for example, P is equal to 1, P is one statement which is equal to 1, then same category of data transfer, like then R1 data or content of R1 transfer to R2. Okay, in this way we can transfer. That means it is one condition is there. That means if P is equal to 1, here what happens? If P is equal to 1, one condition is there. P is equal to 1 means P is true or condition is true. Then data transfer from R1 to R2. Okay, this is the conditional transfer. Other way also we can write here, like very short form we can write P like this colon, then R1, content of R1 transfer to R2. Like this also we can define. Okay, different ways we can define, doesn't matter. So this is the very short form of a conditional transfer. Very simple way we can define. Okay, so another way also we can define that this is the conditional. Another way also we can define like that is here is what previous it was only one data or data transfer from one register to another register. Sometimes if more operation will consider, then we can tell as a simultaneous operations. Okay, third part also we can tell as a simultaneous. Okay, we can tell as a simultaneous. Okay, another that is operation we can consider simultaneous operations. In that case, what happens? Similarly, so condition also satisfied. In this case, what happens? We test it, the condition is satisfied or not. If a condition is satisfied, then what happens? More number of operation can be operated at a time. Okay, and that is also we can define. That means if two or more operations are to occur simultaneously, then they are separately with a comma in a different operation whenever used, that they will separately defined with some comma. Okay, I will show you how. If control statement, similar case, similar type of condition also we can consider. Like suppose control function P is equal to 1, then load the content of R1 into R2 and at the same time the clock load the content of R2 into R1. Okay, in that case very simple way we can define. Like we can define in this way, like if P is equal to 1. Okay, if P is equal to 1, then what you write? Then content of R1 transfer to R2. Okay, at the same time we can write also content of R2 transfer to R1. Okay, that means here are two operations. One is that is R1 and R2. Okay, two register we consider. Two register, although two register consider, but operation is different ways. That means data transfer from R1 to R2. Here very simple way it is mentioned, data transfer from R1 to R2. Here data transfer from R2 to R1. Okay, these two ways we can define or these two operations can be used if the particular one condition is satisfied. So different ways also we can define. Here also if we go through short form like P like this. Okay, then different ways that is R1 content of R1 transfer to R2 or that is content of R2 transfer to R1. Okay, in this way also we define. So different ways we can define or we can consider different operation simultaneously. Okay, this is the basic concept of the operation whenever we go through, that is register transfer operation. Or different ways also we can consider, that is no certain operation we will consider. If we go through more than two operation, then or more than one operation, then we can tell as this is a simultaneous operations. Okay, now other ways also we can define, like suppose P here different ways as your choice also we can consider R1 to R2. Okay, another is that is here R1 content of R1 to R3. Okay, we can also consider, and that is R3 to R1. Other way also can define, that is here that is we can tell different ways, like here suppose R3 to R1. Okay, so different operation. That means you see here how many register? 3 register we consider. Okay, that is R1, R2 and R3. 3 register. Here is more than one operation we will consider. Okay, R1 to R2, R1 to R3, again R3 to R1. So different operation we can consider if we go through, that is simultaneous operation. As you like also we can consider different what that is operations. Okay, so this is the topic today for register transfer operation, and that is a register transfer language. Whenever go through that is a register transfer language, we consider that is different notation, like here notation also I wrote, that is notation means different notation which is understood by register transfer language. One notation used through processor register, here processor register one notation we use. Another, if we go through memory location, then very simple way it is used like a different address of data through log, LOC or place or memory. Okay, 3 ways we can consider. If we go through input output register, then also we can consider data in, data out. Okay, these are the notation. And operation I told, that is a 3 category operation. If we go through that is simple transfer, no need to use conditional. So in that case what happens, that is we go through simple transfer. Okay, if you through some condition, then what happens, we can tell as a conditional transfer. Okay, and if we go through more operation we have to operate, then we can go through, that is a simultaneous operation. So this is the, or these are the basic concept whenever we go through register transfer language as well as register language or register transfer operation. Okay, thank you very much thank you very much to watch my videos, and thank you very much to this channel, and all of you. If you that is like these videos, so please share it, and please comment it, and please subscribe and like it. Thank you very much. Thank you to watch my videos. Thank you to all. Thanks.